Hey guys, Delt here. Last time I played on Friday, I pushed rank for a couple hours and we were able to hit Voyager and become a top 150 bard. I did die twice to landmine rogues, but other than that, we were able to either fight or get away from everyone we faced. The scariest class for us is still the PDR fighter, but in my opinion, even when we're building PDR and health, a geared rogue is a very close second. If they aren't geared, they hit like a wet noodle and it's no big deal at all, but with gear, you die in 3 or 4 hits. Anyway, here's one game for you, and then after this, I'll do one more game, which was my last one where I hit Voyager. Hope you'll enjoy. So we're starting off in ruins because we can't start off in crypts anymore, and we're in the cockatrice room, so I'm planning to just clear around some and then take that out. We were actually lucky in getting a wolf pelt. Although this doesn't necessarily help our AP too much, I'm still going to pick it up because it's a decent amount worth of gold for only 4 slots. I could also maybe make wolf hunter leggings with it if I decide that I want to. It could be good. I'm not necessarily too sure. I haven't looked at their stats recently. That survival bow is also really good, but I've kind of been staying away from using survival bows and just using crossbow and drums recently. So that's the only reason I didn't pick that up. So I'm just going to rebuff before killing this. When I actually play Shriek of Weakness, the cockatrice jumps up onto this platform, which it wasn't able to do before. I'd still cheese it here, but it was kind of awkward, and you'll see that in a second. Also, on a side note, I've been practicing my Harmonic Shield because I had so many people like, you can skip 2 notes. I knew that I could, but I always messed it up, so I just was trying to make sure that I could figure out how to do it and not just mess it up every time. I still mess it up sometimes, but I've gotten a lot better. I'm like a bird, I wanna fly away. IRL bard moment for you. Well, remember when I said fighting the cockatrice was really awkward here? That was why. I kind of thought it was funny that it just flew me like 10 feet up into the air, but I'm glad that I didn't just fall to my death, because that would have sucked. And honestly, it never came back up onto the top rock, but it was still just really weird and acting weird. It eventually just decided it was going to stand in the corner like a good boy, but until then it was just like 1 or 2 swings at a time and just took forever. I would highly recommend just moving it over to the small wall to our right, because that's much easier and it still doesn't hit you there. Alright, so now I'm just planning to clear around, get as much as we can, and then head into crypts. I still don't like ruins. I don't think it's a good map for bard compared to some other classes, so I'd rather just get down to where I have a better chance. So I'm just clearing around, wasting time. That's it. While I'm opening this chest, I see someone standing to our east, southeast, looking at us on the wall. I just give him a few crouches. He crouches back. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll go the other way. Again, I don't mind fighting, but I know that there's a decent amount of people who'd rather just run around and loot and not fight. So like, I don't want to just take all of the fun away from them, you know? Like, I don't mind being friendly. Just stay away from me because I don't trust you. And I haven't heard anyone over here, so even though I know the zone's about to close soon, I'm just deciding to go get a few more monster kills, open up a few coffins, see what I can get, and then I'll go back. Alright, I'm just gonna heal up from the storm damage. It'll take like 3 seconds. I'll cut it out anyway. And then we'll start to push into the big room to our right. There's a cleric in front of us. He opens the portal. It's whatever. I don't mind. If he decides to leave, that's just one less person I'll have to deal with in Crypts later. And honestly, me not shooting him while he opens the portal gives me a better chance of survival because this is one of the down statics. And so a lot of people will come here because they're deciding that they want to keep going into Crypts. So I'm not sure if there's other people around. That's honestly why I didn't fight him at first. And it actually pays off. That was awful. I had no idea that Rogue was there. He got 3 hits off of me with the Castellan and it almost did 140 health because that's how much I have at this point. And honestly, I was standing next to the portal just to see like in case he holy striked me. But honestly, I just deserved to die at this point. He just saved my life. So if he killed me with holy strike, well played. And the great thing about Rogue is now that I know he's there camping the extract, I'm completely fine. I'm not worried about it at all. The cleric saved my life and I have information and I'm just going to use that to my advantage to be able to get down into Crypts. So what I'm actually going to do here is push a little further into the zone because if he is in the swarm, he can't stealth and sneak up on me. I have a crossbow, I have drums. I'll kill him if he decides to run at me in the swarm. It's not a huge deal at all. Basically, as of right now, the ball's in his court if he decides he wants to live or die. And I'm grabbing the prot shrine just to be safe because I know that I make mistakes and this will help me slightly with that. And he's still there, so I just line up my crossbow and he decides to not peek back out after jumping one time and seeing that I have it out. I'm just gonna back up some and once again, drink a pot, use some bandages, get whatever slight advantage that I can, and then I'll walk back. and I actually don't see him, so I just run down into Crypts, and I'm deciding that as I clear around, I'm just gonna be careful of a rogue because he could have just gone down too. Whenever I get the spawn, I always try to run this way if the swarm allows, because in the room directly to my east, there's almost, I don't know the exact percentage, but there's always a chance to have a lion's head in this room, and then the one directly to the south of it. So I always just clear that way because there's a chance that I could just run into 2 lion's heads. I think in this game there wasn't one in either, but it's still 2 skelly mage kills and some other kills and some loot. It's not a huge deal. And just in case anyone's curious, when I bring Harmonic Shield, I almost always play Rousing Rhythms again at the end of my buffs, because this actually lines them up to where Rousing Rhythms and Beats of Alacrity will end around the same time, and so it's a little less management in that way. I know I'm not going to be getting the most AP for picking up that crossbow, but at the same time, it's a good backup, so I want to do that just in case I die again. And since the zone is closing off the back end of this, I'm only deciding to grab one of the lion's heads, the one directly underneath the staircase. I was thinking about picking up that arming sword because it was actually pretty good. I just don't like them. I'd rather have a falchion or a rapier. So at this point, I'm just wanting to fill up my inventory and open as many portals as possible, and then I'm just deciding that I'm gonna leave instead of going into hell because I already have a decent amount of AP, I've killed monsters, I'm full on loot. I could get better, but it's not a huge deal, I'd rather just go next. Typically though, the longer you stay in, the better, because right now I'm gonna leave and lose like 200 some AP just for being in this game, and then I'm gonna lose 200 some for the next game. So the longer I stay in and the more I get in one game is always going to be more efficient. I just prefer to sometimes skip over hell because I'm not necessarily the best down there, and so it gets a little sketchy. I also messed up really bad here, and I started dropping a bunch of loot because I wanted to pick up the blue scroll. I didn't realize there was another bat, and of course it was a nightmare variant. Nope, let's just take our AP. Alright, so I'm just gonna sell all our loot and then get it right into the next game. I'm actually not gonna voice over this next one because I've noticed a few people like voiceovers and a few people don't and would rather just watch the gameplay. So I'm just gonna let that play, and if you wanna watch it, perfect. If you'd rather not and you just want me to commentate everything, please just let me know that and I'll make sure I do it. Thanks.
chest if you want it.
So I was hoping to get a little more out of the end of this game. I wanted to open the red portals and grab the lion's head chest that's directly to the north here, but there wasn't time, so I just decided to leave. As always, I just want to thank everyone who watched this point. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope that y'all are having a great day. If you could just do one thing for me, if you could like, comment, or subscribe to the channel, I would really, really appreciate it. Anything and everything helps, and y'all are the best. So after I dealt with all of our loot, I actually went to see what rank we were since we just hit Voyager, and I noticed a lot of Voyagers were top 100. At the time of recording this, we're actually 126. So as I keep recording YouTube videos and stuff like that, I'm just going to keep trying to push on this character and just see where we can get. I know I'm not one of the best players alive, and I make a lot of mistakes, and I probably don't play as much as a lot of like the top 10 or 50 players, but I'm just going to keep pushing. Hope you have a great day. Peace.